Hi, my name is Steve Ryan. I'm the head football coach at Morningside College. We're an NAI school located in Iowa, and we've made the playoffs each of the last 5 years. The last 4 years, we've led the nation in scoring in NAI football. And one of the things that we think that has allowed us to be extremely successful as a football team is just the use of a highly efficient passing game. And having a passing game where we can hit the ball to a receiver quickly, give him a chance to pick up a short gain, or if he's fortunate enough to get a bigger gain. Having a passing game that allows us to make safe throws that allow us to be effective in terms of throwing the football. The reasons we feel are important in terms of having a quick passing game, an efficient passing game, are many. And the efficient passing game that we use now inside of our no-huddle offense, we used before we were even a no-huddle football team. But the reason we believe so much in having an efficient passing game is, number one, it makes the defense cover the whole field. If you can have a quick three-step passing game where your quarterback catches, gathers himself, and throws a quick pass, whether it's a hitch, a slant, or some other type of quick combination of routes that you believe you can complete at a 70 or 75% rate, it makes that defense cover the whole field. So that if you're going to spread wide receivers out, they have to cover those wide receivers you spread across the field. Number two, we believe it allows you to take what the defense gives you. And for all defenses, they're giving you something. In 11-on-11 concepts, matching up, lining up against other people, you talk to defense coordinators, they're usually telling you, hey, we know that we're giving up something. Now, they're going to have to execute to take it, or they're going to have to choose to take it. How many times you hear the defense coordinator say, yeah, let them throw the hitch all day into the flat? Well, you need to have the ability to be able to dink, throw quick, short passes if they're going to give it to you, and take advantage of those situations and put some stress on their defensive philosophy and the things that they want to do. Number three is we think it allows you to make the last decision. All right, inside of our quick passing game, we have done it different in different years, but we've allowed our quarterback the ability inside of our quick passing game, no matter what play we've called, if he sees something that he can take, if he looks out there and says, hey, there's an easy 8 yards, he has the ability to check to a hitch or a quick slant, all right, or to another play. Inside of our no-huddle system, and running a no-huddle system, if you've got a quick, efficient pass game, whether it's running screens or a three-step, it's real easy for a coach to see those things in the box, communicate to the coaches on the field, all right, and then communicate to the quarterback and make an audible and take advantage of the things that your opponent has. And so anytime you have a quick passing game or some way to attack the perimeter fast, it allows you to take advantage and make the decision last. All right, number four, we think the quick passing game takes advantage of aggressive run defenses. Defenses that want to bring safeties down fast, or defenses that want to move their outside linebackers tighter and tighter to the box. All right, being able to throw the ball in the perimeter in a quick fashion, or being able to sell a run fake and then throw a quick dink allows you to take advantage of a team that's playing you aggressively against the run. Number five, one of the reasons why we like a quick passing game is we don't think you have to be better than your opponent up front. All right, if you're getting rid of the ball in 2 seconds, if you're catching and throwing, if you're throwing quick passes, if you're making ball fakes and then sprinting out or rolling out away from your fake, you don't necessarily have to be better than your opponent up front. And so these are things that you can do where, hey, talent-wise, we might not have the big hosses up front that our opponent does. We might not have a great back, but these are some things that we can do to use the talented players that we do have. And lastly, we believe that short passes can turn into big plays. All right, one of the things that we measure all the time here is the number of big plays that take place in the game. We believe if we can have more big plays and fewer turnovers than our opponent, we're going to win the ball game. And we throw the ball deep, we throw the ball downfield, but it's amazing when we come back and count the number of big plays we have. Most of them happen in our quick or short passing game where guys break tackles and they get upfield and they're able to get big chunks of yardage quickly. What we'd like to go over with you today are are some things that we do off of the run and in ways in which we throw the ball quickly to the outside to take advantage of defenses and to accomplish many of these things that we talked about here today. What I'm going to do at this time is our offensive coordinator, Josh Gehring. He's our offensive coordinator. He also coaches our quarterbacks. He's going to go through with you our quick passing game at Morningside College.
Hello, my name is Josh Gehring. I'm the offensive coordinator here at Morningside College. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about our efficient passing game. And we're going to point out a few concepts that you can add to your passing game to increase efficiency and increase completion percentage so that your offense can become more productive. The very first concept that we're going to talk about is the slant concept. We really like the slant here. One of the reasons why we like it is because it really works well against any coverage. And we can run it simply out of several different formations. We're a multi-formational offense, and so we like to be able to do different things, yet give them a very simple approach in terms of the teaching progression of each route and each concept into all the different formations that we use. So one of the first things that we want to do is really draw up the concept out of a 2x2 formation as well as a 3x1 formation. Ultimately, that's all that we do, and we can always get into a variety of different looks with different tags, but we want to make sure that we always have the concept out of, as I said before, a 2-receiver set and also a 3x1 set. So as you can see here, I've got a 2x2 formation. On the bottom here, I've got a 3x1 formation. Again, what we try to accomplish is we try to keep our plays and our concepts as simple as possible, try to keep them universal in terms of reads and progression, and that makes us more efficiently, less teaching time, we can maximize our reps. In the top here, when we discuss our quick game, specifically the slant, we always want to start with our number 1 receiver on the outside, number 2 receiver on the inside. This is our numbering system. And then, of course, if you're backside of the concept, it's still number 1 receiver, number 2 receiver. In this look here, it will be number 1 receiver, number 2, number 3, and then backside starts over with the number 1 receiver on the backside. So let's say, for example, our slant concept is on the play side to our right. The number 1 receiver would run a 3-step slant. He's going to push off of the line for 3 hard steps, stick his outside foot, and run at about a 45-degree angle, aiming for about 10 to 12 yards on top of the hash. So again, that's about a 45-degree angle, pushing upfield for 3 hard steps, sticking it on his last step, and then, of course, breaking towards the hash. The number 2 receiver play side runs a bubble. One of the key coaching points about the bubble for us is bubbles never bubble. We want to be fast. We want to make sure that we're staying down the line, giving our quarterback an opportunity to see the flat defender stretch with us. And so here in a moment, I'll draw up the defense with it, but with our quick game, specifically the slant, we want to make sure our quarterbacks read the flat defender. Much of what we talk about, however, is pre-snap. The thing that we really emphasize the most with our quarterbacks is trying to get them to take a picture before they even snap the ball. In other words, as they're coming to the line of scrimmage, as the defense is getting set and our receivers are getting in their alignments, we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of what the defense is going to give us. And so, as you see here, our slant bubble combination is simply that, slant bubble. We divide the field in half. We're going to attack one side. We'll attack one side. However, on the back side, the routes are mirrored. And so if he does have trouble, he can obviously check it to the other side and attack it accordingly. On a 3x1 formation, Number one receiver still has the same rule. He's going to push upfield for 3 hard steps, 45-degree angle, aiming for about 10 to 12 yards right on top of the hash. The number 2 receiver now has the bubble, again, keeping everything simple and in line with the 2x2 concept, and then the number 3 receiver has a slant as well. Backside receiver, the routes are mirrored. He's a number 1 receiver. Just like in the 2x2 formation, he's also going to have a slant. In this look here, this is a 2x2 formation. Again, we can be in any format of a 2x2. If we wanted to have a tight end, we'd simply do a personnel grouping, have a tight end. We're still in a 2x2 set. Obviously, if we want a tight end on the backside, of course, we can do that as well. So any 2x2 formation, we can run our slant bubble combination. Play side receiver number 1 has a 3-step slant. He's going to push upfield for 3 hard steps, 45-degree angle, aiming for about 10 to 12 yards. Ball should typically be caught at around 10 yards if we're in good rhythm. Number 2 receiver has a bubble. Like I said before, bubbles never bubble. He wants to stay flat down the line. We're trying to get stretch on the flat defender. Much of what our conference does is roll their coverage. So in most cases, when it's 2 high safeties, we see a safety coming down or rolling backside, and the outside linebacker becomes a flat defender. Backside is mirrored. Backside is mirrored, but we're going to stay focused on the front side. When our quarterback is in gun, we can do this from both under center and in gun. When our quarterback is in gun, we can typically get rid of the ball in about 2.25 seconds. If we're under center, we can typically get rid of the football in about 1.5 seconds. So let's go to the video. All right, this first clip here is our quick slant. And you can see quarterback is in gun. We're in a 2x2 formation. Typically, we would have a slant by the number 1, slant by the number 1. We're going to be going to the right here, so our right side is going to be play side. But in this case, we have actually tagged for this game for our tight end to stay in. So this is a singled up route. We see a singled up matchup, and that's what we're trying to exploit. Again, quarterback is in gun. His rhythm should be hitch and throw. So as he receives the ball, it should be hitch and throw. Always throwing on time with our receiver. So to talk first about our number 1 receiver play side, he should take 3 hard steps upfield, press into the corner as quickly as he can, stick the outside foot, 45-degree angle, expect the ball quick. You can see here, he's 1, 2, 3, stick the outside foot, catch the ball and get upfield. Now, our quarterback, you can see, we're using slide protection here with the offensive line and running back. Our quarterback receives the ball, hitch and throw. He doesn't hesitate, hitch and throw. Ball's gone no matter what. He's got to make a determination, pre-snap and post-snap, if he has a chance to complete the football. Hitch and throw. Again, you can see here a little bit of the quarterback fundamentals. It's just hitch, stick in the back foot, and throw. Hitch and throw. One of the most important things that we believe a quarterback can have, especially in the efficiency part of the passing game, is rhythm. So we talk a lot about rhythm. Hitch and throw, hitch and throw. When we're under center, it's 1, 2, 3, and throw. 1, 2, 3, and throw. Here we're under center. Again, we'll be going to the right. So we've exploited a single matchup. You can see how the linebacker's tucked in. We feel like we can complete the ball with high efficiency here. We've got that singled up matchup. Quarterback is now under center. We're slide protecting. Quarterback should be in rhythm of 1, 2, 3, and throw. Here's the quarterback. 1, 2, 3, and throw. There's the slant. Receiver is coming upfield. 1, 2, 3. Stick the outside foot. Catch the ball and get upfield. You can see down here at the bottom, the backside is mirrored. The backside is mirrored. So, although we're not in a 2x2 formation, we have added a fullback in the game for extra protection. This is a run formation for us. That's why we're under center and we have a fullback in the game. Again, we've tagged the tight end to stay in. We feel like the singled up matchup is better than actually sending him out and attracting attention out there. Catch the ball, get upfield. Now, we're going to the left. Singled up matchup on the outside. You can see there's a lot of space in here for a slant. We're in a run formation with our fullback in the game. Quarterback is under center. Again, 1, 2, 3, and throw. Fundamentals of the quarterback now is to back straight out. 1, 2, 3, plant the back foot and throw. Everything in rhythm. Ball should be gone within about a second and a half. Quarterback, 1, 2, 3, and throw. Receiver, 1, 2, 3, and expect the ball. Breaks a tackle, creates a good play. 1, 2, 3, catch the ball, and throw. The next concept that we're going to talk about is our hitch concept. Again, it's still out of our quick passing game. We love the hitch, and typically we do it out of gun. And like I mentioned on the slant concept, the slant bubble concept, much of what we do with the quarterbacks in their reads is pre-snap. We want to make sure that we're kind of finding that one-on-one matchup. So if you look at the number 1 receiver, he's going to press to the outside tip of the defender, and he's going to hitch because we're in gun at 8 yards. At 8 yards. Number 2 receiver, he will press to the outside hip, try to gain width from the inside linebacker, and he'll hitch at 6 yards. The backside is mirrored the exact same, 8 yards, 6 yards. If the number 1 receivers are pressed with a corner pressing, they can automatically convert to a fade. And so what you'll see is the receiver will make an adjustment while he's running his route. The terminology that we use is if he's even at 5 yards, we're leaving. So if the corner's flat-footed at all, at around 5 yards when we're pressing into him, if he's even, we're leaving. And so that's how we coach that. Quarterback takes a quick drop. I'll talk more about the quick drop once we get to the video. And then, of course, offensive line is slide protection to the call side, or away from the call side. And so everybody's responsible for a gap. Out of a 3-by-1 set, the same is true. So number 1 receiver has a hitch. He can convert. Number 2 receiver has a 6-yard hitch. Number 3 receiver now has a 6-yard hitch. Again, everything that we try to do is based on a 2-by-2 formation or a 3-by-1 formation. All routes coincide with each other. Let's go to the video. Now, just as we discussed on the board, the other favorite play of ours is the hitch. And when we talk about our hitch game, it's hitches all the way across. And here you can see we're in a 2-by-2 set, 2 receivers on top, 2 receivers on bottom. Quarterback will be in rhythm of hitch and throw. He needs to take a pre-snap read. His pre-snap read should be based mostly on leverage. In other words, he's going to look out there and see which side should he be going to based on what the defense is going to give you. And you can see here, number 1 receiver, he's got a cushion of about 4 or 5 yards. Number 2 receiver has quite a bit of cushion. This guy's tucked in the box a little bit, helping for run game. On the backside, we're pretty much covered. If we were to run this right now with him corner walked up, then we want to make sure and get an outside release fade, which would be a conversion, again, as we discussed on the board. Now, there's some pre-snap adjustments. Again, quarterback should be looking and scanning at all times. We're tighter here. In this picture here, he should take a good pre-snap read. He feels like this side is where he should go. A lot of cushion, a lot of room to run. Hitch and throw. Quarterback's hitching and throwing. You can see his fundamentals here, hitch and throw. Get rid of the ball. Make a decision. Receiver does a nice job in this picture coming back to the ball just a little bit. We don't want to come back too far only to protect the football. We want to make sure we're gaining positive yardage. As you can see here, he probably could have gone to the number 1 as well. But it turned out well for us. Big play off of a 6-yard hitch. break one tackle, get upfield, run fast, run fast, run fast. Again, here's a 2-by-2 formation. Quarterback scanning left to right. We're deciding pre-snap which side we're going to go. This is a little bit softer over here. You can tell by the corner is about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, maybe 6. So play side is going to be to the right. Slide protecting to the left with our offensive line. Hitch on the inside. Hitch by the number 1. You can see here that the quarterback is now reading the flat defender. There's a single high safety. That tells him it's either going to be man or cover 3. Flat defender doesn't get out. Nice big cushion on the outside. Catch, get upfield. Again, decent gain, close to a first down, if not a first down. Now we're showing a 3-by-1 formation with our hitches. So again, play side number 1, hitch. If the corner presses or is even, we're leaving. So we'll convert that if he continues to stay at 5 yards. Number 2 receiver, hitch, 6 yards. Number 3 receiver, hitch, 6 yards. Number 1 receiver backside, hitch at 8 yards. Quarterback's going to scan to the right. Just by counting numbers alone, we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 over 3. Really, you could probably say 2 over 2. This guy's tucked in the box a little bit. We'll count that from a quarterback perspective as 2 over 3. All right, inside linebacker flies out. Quarterback makes a good choice here. And really, the receiver does a great job of getting separation. He's pushing to the toes of the defender, sticking it, coming back to the ball. You can see here that the number 1 receiver is converting to a fade. Catch the ball, get upfield. Again, here's another look for a 3-by-1 formation. Quarterback should be in rhythm. Ball should be gone in about 2.25 seconds, if not sooner. Number 1 receiver play side has a hitch, 8 yards because we're in gun. If we're under center, it'll be 6 yards. Number 2 receiver play side has a hitch. Number 3 receiver play side has a hitch. Again, those are at 6 yards. Number 1 receiver backside has an 8-yard hitch. Quarterback's in rhythm. Hitch and throw. Hitch and throw. If you look again, pre-snap, we really only have 2 over 3. You could count this guy if you wanted to, but we know we're running a hitch, so we're going to count that as 2 over 3. Where this guy goes, we should read off of him. He stays over the number 3. We'll throw to the number 2. Break a tackle, get upfield. Run, run, run. So again, your quick game really has an opportunity to create big plays. If you can become efficient, you can make it part of your offense, make it so that it becomes kind of what you do, then big plays can come out of it. All right, another 3-by-1 formation. You can see here that they have a single high safety. So the quarterback's going to read that as open or closed. He sees it as closed. He's now determining, is it cover 1 or cover 3? You can see here it's probably cover 1. Outside linebackers are staring our receivers down. They're uptight. You can see the cushion here. We may attempt to go to the right, but we're a little leery of this guy dropping underneath it. I think in this clip here, we stay to the left. Quarterback makes a good decision. He's got a soft cushion by number 1, and that's where we end up going. Catch and get upfield. Catch and get upfield. Again, quarterback rhythm. Hitch and throw. Hitch and throw. The next concept that we'll talk about is our quick out. Another great efficiency concept is our quick out seam. Number 1 receiver play side has a 8-yard quick out. He's going to press to the heels of, press to the toes of the corner at about 8 yards. He's going to snap it out and make what we call a sharp cut, Typically, when we're running this, we're going to find a corner that's kind of in a bail technique. We want to take advantage of him bailing out of there. So it's about 8 yards. The number 2 receiver wants to take an inside release seam. Okay, as the outside linebacker over him gains width, reading pass, we want to make sure and snap inside of him. That's a key coaching point. We want to make sure and hold that outside linebacker. Again, backside, it's just mirrored on the backside. So backside number 1 has an 8-yard quick out. And of course, the slot receiver has a inside seam vertical. Key coaching point on all of our quick game is to make sure the back gets the hands down. Many times, because he's attacking the line of scrimmage and he's starting from a depth of about 5 yards, he'll have some type of rush upfield as these offensive linemen are sliding away from the play, covering their gap responsibility. He wants to make sure and attack it and cut him down if at all possible. But if he doesn't get the cut, he want to make sure he gets the hands down of that that defensive end. We're running this out of a 3-by-1 formation here. We're going to isolate the receiver to the top here. The bottom receivers will be backside. So backside number 1 has an 8-yard quick out. Backside number 2 has an inside release seam or vertical. Backside number 3 has a vertical. Play side number 1 has a 8-yard quick out. If the corner's pressed, he'll convert it to a fade. Hitch and throw. Again, all quarterback fundamentals are the same in our quick game. Hitch and throw. If we're to be under center, this route would be at 6 yards. We'd be under center, 1, 2, 3, and throw. Hitch and throw. You can see the receiver here. Presses upfield, sticks the inside foot, makes it a sharp cut, snaps his hips out, is ready to catch the ball. Again, singled up receiver to the outside, 8-yard quick out right at the sticks, hitch and throw. Hitch and throw. The very first thing we want to talk about in our quick game is protection. We try to keep everything very simple for our guys, and so we just simply use a slide protection rule and a slide protection scheme. If this was the play side, if our right was the play side, our offensive lineman would slide to the left, and they're responsible for the gap that they're sliding to. In other words, and some of the terminology that we use with our offensive line is, hey, you're responsible for your nose to the next man's nose. So whether they bring 1, 2, 3, 7 guys in there, it doesn't matter. You're responsible for that gap. The end man on the line of scrimmage, the back has him. So he wants to make sure and attack the end man on the line of scrimmage, his outside hip, and cut him down. If he can't cut him down, he wants to make sure his hands are down and he's pressed him beyond the line of scrimmage. He wants to make sure that there's no penetration. Quarterback is a quick drop. I'll discuss it more a little bit on film, but typically we just want to take a hitch step and throw. Our timing from under center is always in rhythm of 1, 2, 3, and throw. Ball's gone no matter what. If we're in gun, it's simply catch the football, hitch step, and throw. Again, ball's gone no matter what. He's got to make the determination pre-snap if he's going to have an open guy, or post-snap, he's got to make a decision of, hey, can I get the ball to the guy or do I need to throw it away? But either way, the ball is always out on or according to that timing. The other added benefit to the quick game, if you can become efficient at it and it becomes more of a staple or a large component of your offense, is the explosive plays that you can create off of it. One is the hitch and go. So based on our quick game hitch, we want to be able to pump to a receiver and have him run a go route. All responsibilities for every receiver is the same except for the number one receivers typically. So the number one receiver, if we're calling a hitch and go, is going to be 8 yards because we're in gun, hitch, flash to the quarterback, and go. Number two receiver, he still has the hitch at 6 yards. Number two receiver backside, hitch, still at 6 yards. Number one receiver backside, he is going to mirror what the front side does, hitch, flash to the quarterback, and go. Key coaching points on this, the quarterback's drop and rhythm should be exactly the same. The only thing that we add to it is as the quarterback is hitching, he will pump rather than release the ball, and then gather his feet and throw on timing. He's not throwing when the guy is open, he's throwing on timing. So it's it's hitch, pump, and then gather feet and throw. The other key coaching point on this is for the outside receivers that are running the and goes to stay towards the bottom of the numbers. We want to use as much field as possible. I believe there's about 7 yards from the sideline to the bottom of the numbers. So we want to use as much field as we can. In other words, he cannot allow a corner that plays him well to squeeze him towards the sideline. We need as much room on the sideline so he can adjust to the football when we throw it. The other one in our quick game is off of the quick out. So if we're looking on this side, we've got a corner here. The quick out is at 8 yards. We're going to stick it, flash the hands, flash the eyes, and then turn it up on the sideline. That is the quick out and go, okay? It's the out and go, or out and up is what a lot of people call it. And then, of course, the number two receiver, we still want him to press to the outside, dip underneath, and get vertical. That should hold the safety. If you've got a quarterback that can make that read, certainly you can read the safety. But most likely, in most cases, what we try to do is create a singled up matchup, either by a 3-by-1 formation, okay, or we've found coverages to either roll, and then of course we try to pick on a defender independently. Now, as we're talking about our efficiency passing game, some of the explosives that you can do off of it, as I mentioned on the board, was the hitch and go, and then of course the out and up. And in this picture here, I'll show you an example of the out and up. Probably a little bit lower percentage in completion, but the advantages are great if you can get your corner to bite. We've created a singled up matchup to the field here, so we're going to run an out and up. Again, he wants to stick it at about 8 yards. He's a little shallow, but about 8 yards. Quarterback will pump, put the ball in the right place for him, let your receiver make a play on the ball. Key coaching points. Make sure that your receiver allows room on the sideline for adjustment to the football. The quarterback should pump the corner, the eyes of the corner, rather than the route. So, as he's staring the corner down that he's attacking, he should pump the eyes of the corner. When his eyes come inside, you pump him, and then put the ball in the place where your receiver can make a play at it. Now, backside receivers, all rules are the same, just as if we were running a normal quick out. You can see here, number one receiver, he's still going to have the out and up. Number two receiver is going to have the inside release seam. Hitch and go. Speed out and go. The next part of our efficiency passing game is the naked boot. And so the first thing we want to mention is obviously protection. And in this picture here, we've got a 2-by-2 formation with a tight end. As I demonstrated in the quick passing game, or 3-step drops, we showed a 2-by-2 formation with a slot receiver, more of a doubles look. We can accomplish our play action naked boot out of either set but we always want to make sure we have at least a 2-by-2 formation. Protection first. We want to make sure and sell run. So if we're going to sell our action to the left, we want our offensive line to slide protect. We're going to leave the end man on the line of scrimmage, and then we will boot out. Okay, we'll boot out. Play side number 1 has what we call a takeoff route. The takeoff route for us is not an option to throw to. It is a guy that is literally taking off. He's going to sell it. Try to occupy a safety if there's a too high or an open coverage that we're facing. He also wants to occupy a corner as long as possible, depending on their coverage, of course. This concept is typically 10 to 14 to the end zone. Run it out of there. Clear out. Play side number 2. Play side number 2. We call this a shoot route. His first responsibility is to sell run. He needs to approach and attack the defender, trying to stay on his outside shoulder so he can get separation. His second responsibility is to secure the throw. So as our quarterback is booting, if this guy is blitzing, we want to make sure and get a piece of him so that our quarterback can actually break contain. And then, as I mentioned, we call it a shoot route. Because he's a slot receiver, he's going to aim for 6 yards on the sideline and use a speed cut or even a sharp cut depending on the coverage. Our sharp cut would be versus a man type coverage. Backside number 2 receiver. In this case, it's the tight end. He is running a drag at 10 to 12 yards on top of the opposite tackle or tight end, depending on who we have there. So he is trying to get across as fast as possible. He does not want to bow it. That's a key coaching point. It takes too long for him to get over there. He wants to take the easiest path possible as fast as possible to get across the field. So 10 to 12 yards, and then he wants to flatten out to the sideline. Another rule for the backside drag route, whether it's a number 2 receiver as a slot or a tight end, is to never stack on top of the shoot route. He never wants to stack on top of him. He always wants to create some width between him and the shoot route. Backside number 1 receiver has a skinny post. The skinny post can be ran anywhere from 10 to 15 yards. He wants to make sure and get an inside release on the corner. And again, just as the number 1 receiver, he's really not an option. Okay? We want efficiency. We want to make sure our receivers and our quarterback know that it's all about efficiency. We want to make sure and complete this at a very high rate. In terms of quarterback play, the things that we tell our quarterback is, hey, if you got the shoot route, take it right now. Right out of your break, right as you're breaking contain, if you got the shoot route and it's clear, dink it and let that guy run. We want to make sure and get the ball to our athletes' hands. If it's cloudy at all, and I use that term a lot with our quarterbacks because many times as he turns his back to the fake, all these guys could change post-snap. And so the term that I use is, hey, is it cloudy? If it is cloudy and he's covered, then you need to begin looking for the drag. So the progression is this. Throw the shoot route. If the shoot route's covered, throw the drag. If the drag is covered, you run. That's the progression. We want to make sure and not take low percentage shots. We always want to gain at least a little bit of yardage if we have to run. One additional thing that we want to talk about in terms of the shoot route, we can also run this if he's a tight end or he's a J-back, what we call our J-back or fullback in the backfield. The key terminology that we use with that is the shorter the field, the longer you need to sell your route. So if you have a short field out here, if we're on the right hash, you need to sell your route longer so that the quarterback can time it up with you. Shorter the field, longer the sell. So if I were to draw this up out of a two tight end formation, we need to pull him off the line, and we were to have this second tight end here, then we want to make sure and sell and push down for 3 hard steps, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3. Selling as much as he can, staying with outside leverage, pushing down, and then he wants to stay flat, aiming for about 3 yards on the sideline. So the main differences here between a slot and a tight end or a fullback in the backfield is if you're a slot, you've got a 6-yard aiming point. You've got a 6-yard aiming point. If you're a J-back or a tight end, you block down for 3 hard steps, and your aiming point is 3 yards on the sideline. If you're a J-back, then you need to secure the throw. You need to secure the throw by chipping and then releasing, 3-yard aiming point on the sideline. Let's go to the video. The last route concept in our efficiency passing game package is the naked boot. And as I discussed on the board, play side number 1 will have a takeoff route. And so you can see here, we're actually going to fake it to the right, to our right, and then boot. It's an inside zone fake. The back's responsibility is sell the run. O-line responsibility, sell the run. Hats low, sell the run. Play side number 1 has a takeoff route. It's going to be anywhere from 10 to 14 yards to the corner, trying to attack any safety that's in his area as well as a corner. He's got to get out of there quick, so he needs to take easiest release, preferably an outside release, so he can turn the eyes of the corner. Number 2 receiver has a shoot route. Since he's a slot, his aiming point is 6 yards on the sideline. He needs to first sell the run, second secure the throw, and then third get into his route, make himself available to catch the football. Backside number 1 receiver has a 10 to 15 yard post, anywhere from 10 to 15 yards. Keep it skinny. And then the backside number 2 route is a drag route. He's trying to get across the field as quick as he can. His aiming point is 10 to 12 yards on top of the opposite tackle or tight end spot. Get across as fast as you can, get through linebackers as cleanly as possible, and then make yourself available by flattening out, not to stack on top of the shoot route. Quarterback should be under center. We're trading our tight end here. We'll flash fake and get out quick. Flash fake, get out quick. You can see the fake is just a flash fake, and he wants to get out and break contain as quickly as possible. Once he gets the top of his depth, and his depth should really be anywhere from 9 to 11 yards, he wants to snap it around. He always wants to follow through on his throw. If the shoot route is open, that's the first one he's taken. If it's cloudy at all, say a corner sitting in the flat or the outside linebacker has leverage, then the drag should be coming open right behind. If he can't complete the drag, then he runs. All right, another clip of our naked boot. Now we're going to motion in just a little bit. And as I mentioned before, if you're a tight end, if you're in that tight end spot, you're going to chip and release, chip and release. You could also say that he's kind of in a fullback position. So he's going to chip release. Aiming point should be around 3 yards, 3 to 6 yards on the sideline. You can see here he's drifting a little bit. It's all right, though, in this case, because he doesn't have a flat defender out there in his way. So quarterback will flash fake, get his head around, be ready to throw the ball quickly. If the shoot's open, take it. So you can see here, shoot's open, take it. Play side number 1 has the takeoff. He's taking a fast release, stepping on the toes of the receiver. You can see here they're kind of in a man coverage. He wants to take that guy out of there. Backside number 2 receiver, he's got the drag. Really needs to get across there a little bit faster. He's going too far upfield. He should decide to go underneath that first linebacker. But his aiming point is 10 to 12 yards on top. You can see there the mistake that he makes is going on top, and he'll never get across. So he's got to go underneath that linebacker. And then backside number 1 has a skinny post. Last clip, we're motioning our J-back across. Again, ends up in a 2-by-2 formation. We're going to fake to the right, inside zone, boot left. Quarterback should be ready to throw quickly. if he's taking a good pre-snap read, he should see that this guy may be coming off the edge. He may be coming off the edge. The J-back should block down for a second, chip, and then release into the flat. Play side number 1, takeoff route. Backside number 1 post. Backside number 2 drag. Flash fake, get out quick. Be ready to throw the football. Make the catch and get upfield. Make the catch and get upfield. Tight end does a little bit better job of getting across. He chooses to go under this linebacker rather than on top. Does a little bit better job. Pretty good separation there between the two routes.
I hope many of the things that we covered in our efficient passing game can be effective for you in the operation and the running of your offense. If you have any questions, feel free to call us at Morningside College. We'd love to help anyone out in any way we can. Thank you.